I like me better when I'm with you. Ooh, ooh. I like me better when I'm with you. Hi. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. Thank you for coming back. Right now, I'm going to be doing a ClairTarot reading for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I haven't worn red lipstick in forever, and I suddenly got distracted by my lips. All right. It doesn't take much to distract me anyways, so it's fine. Libra, I'm told this is information you need to know. All right. You're trying to break cycles. You're trying to get out of patterns of struggle that you have been really just having a hard time with for some of you for a long time now. And I'm assuming these messages are going to help you process whatever you're needing to process. All right. So I'm just going to pull some cards. Yeah. Libra. Okay. Let's just, this all makes sense to me. It makes a lot of sense. I like me better when I'm with you. All right. I heard that joy settled down, that you found a girl and you're married now. I heard that your dreams came true. Yeah, these cards are very telling. Honestly, not surprised. These are things you guys have struggled through for some time now. And you're continuing to struggle through it, not because you like to struggle. It's not because this is all you deserve. It has more to do with your ability to recognize when a pattern is starting, when another cycle is starting. Hold on. There. All right. Okay, so yeah. Here's the problem. There's too many thoughts in your head, too many people and their perceptions of what you should do. There's so much imbalance within you, okay? It's too many voices. Just, I can't even think, having this energy coming and affecting me. I can't even imagine what you're going through with all of these. It's almost like racing thoughts, like two opposing schools of thought. One that takes you far away from the cycles that you've been repeating, and then the other that perpetuates the cycles that you're in right now. And they're having this big ass debate where no one is taking their turns talking. Everyone's just talking over each other. And that's kind of what's going on in your head. You know what you need to do. You know what the issues are. You know what solutions you want to implement. But actually being able to implement those solutions is proving to be very difficult for you. It's proving to be such a challenge for you because there's so much going on in your head. It's hard to find balance when you don't know where center is. And that's part of the problem. You don't remember how to get back to your natural center point. You don't know what your baseline is. A lot of these thoughts are just full of hot air. Okay. That's a harsh thing to say. I understand that. But you're in a harsh kind of situation. Speaking gently and in more reassuring tones is not going to help you to understand the gravity of what this is, because you've been dealing with so much chaotic disharmony for so long. It's almost like the message needs to be delivered with some sort of shock factor for it to register. You're imprisoned in these thoughts. It's like a hot air balloon, and you're imprisoned. You're stuck in it. You don't know how to get out of it. But at the same time, you're not even really fully there. You're not fully present. I think because you're so deep in your thoughts, it's preventing you from even being fully present to find an actual solution for whatever it is you're struggling through. And again, it's not for lack of ability. It's not for a lack of desire to live a more balanced life. Your scales are just not calibrated in a way that would allow you to determine what is balanced. And this is not for all Libras. This is a general reading, but not all Libras will resonate with this. I sure hope most Libras don't. But this is one of the problems. Card number 35, 11th house, friends. Who is your friend and who isn't? Are you a friend to yourself? Are you allowing yourself to put your own needs on the back burner to try and accommodate someone else's preferences, and then recognizing that's what happens because there's a bad circumstance now, and overcompensating for the fact that you did that with them, and so now everyone's shut out? So it's kind of like you're on a wrecking ball swinging, and you're trying to find center, and you keep overcompensating, swinging a little too hard, and so it becomes difficult. It just swings further off balance. And how do you get it to slow down? How do you get it to not keep doing that? We have to find stillness. 92% at 542. 9-2. 5 plus 4 is 9, and 2. Mirroring. It's a mirroring of something that's been fractionated. So you're holding two mirrors in front of each other, and one mirror has been shattered. It's going to keep reflecting the shattering, right? So which one is the real image? Which one are you supposed to fix? You don't know now. It's confusing because it's all mirroring everything back and forth. Ooh, that's a very good analogy. So you're trying to figure out which mirror needs to be fixed. One is shattered, the other one's reflecting the shatteredness, and they're both reflecting each other at this point. How are you going to fix it? You can't tell because visually, audibly, they both look broken. You only can tell by feel. So Libra, you're going to have to allow yourself to begin feeling things. That's part of the root of your struggle, is that you avoid your own feelings on things. Okay? You're going to need to find that balance by feeling. You've allowed yourself to be so drained, so ridiculously drained. The company that many Libras are keeping, it is draining you. It is very toxic. These are the very things. Hold on. I know I saw that card somewhere. Hold on. Yep. These are the very connections that have you chasing your tail upside down. Instead of growing you, they're draining you, much like how the water swirls before it flushes down the toilet. Is draining you. You have to be honest with yourself with who's draining you and who isn't. I think what's going on for many Libras is that you're getting drained by certain people, and then it's triggering this like overprotectiveness of yourself, which rightfully you should become overprotective of yourself at that point. And what ends up happening is, instead of recognizing that one individual, that one circumstance is what's triggering you, you then apply it to everything. So the very people who are trying to help now suddenly have this label of, I can't trust no one. Okay. How is that going to serve you though? It's not. You have to allow yourself to refine the balance. Okay. You have to allow yourself to here it is, to see where the imbalance is within you. Because if you are the scale, the problem isn't the weights, it's the scale itself. Doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you need a little bit of a recalibration. Oops. So card number 19, all my life, my heart has yearned for a thing I cannot name. Do you know what you're yearning for? Do you know what it is you want? This elusive thing that you have been trying to find in everyone you meet. 94% at 545. 9, 4 plus 5 is 9. 4 plus 5 is 9. 999. You are seeking for that connection to divinity. You're looking for it in places where divinity does not occupy. Not because it can't, but because it loves us in such a way that we are free to conduct ourselves in whatever way we feel appropriate. So, wow, don't go it alone. Linking up with a partner will serve you best. Let's see. What is true one day may not be the next. Libras are able to see all sides of every issue, but they tend to vacillate and have trouble coming to any final decision. Let's see. And, you know, your struggle with coming to a decision and in sticking with it, that's adding to this cycling that's going on here. That's adding to the cycling that's going on. Okay. So this relates to Two of Pentacles. It's about merging choices, alliances, mutual support, coming to a decision. You have to really decide at this point, what do you want out of life? What do you want out of life? You know, do you want to continue? I don't know any Libra that would consciously want to continue the type of existence that causes pain, that causes suffering. And this is not about trying to point out how you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, how all of this is your, no, this is about you recognizing what is your goal? How are we going to achieve that goal? What are some possible solutions? Once you find those possible solutions, you need to begin figuring out how you're going to implement them. This is about solving the issue, not blame, not blame. So figure out what it is that caused an imbalance within you. All right. Is it something from early childhood? Is it something from young adulthood? Is it just a general sense of no one understands me? But why don't people understand you? Is it because you're afraid that if they understand you, if they see all parts of you, that they won't like you? Because I do sense that a lot about Libras. I know quite a few Libras, and many of them have that same struggle. This is not a character defect at all, at all. This is something that you need to see about yourself. If this is one of your struggles, you have to see this about yourself. You have to be very honest with yourself, and you have to make an adjustment 1 degree at a time. You don't have to become a completely different person in order to implement the solutions you have chosen for yourself. You don't have to become a completely different person. Okay, well, why do you have to let go of your daughter? What does she represent for you? And you definitely don't have to write it in the comments. This is something you have to ask yourself. Why do I feel I have to let go of my daughter? Am I not able to create healthy boundaries and allow her to take accountability for the decisions that she makes? Do I have to let her go because she drains me? Well, she can't drain you if you don't allow her to. See what I'm saying? So it's really about boundaries and enforcing the boundaries and having balance, addressing your needs while you also address whoever's needs you feel you need to address. This is also about purification. You have to allow yourself to be purified of the very shame and guilt that so many Libras struggle through. A lot of the things that you feel very guilty about, that you feel ashamed about yourself, um, Everyone else has some varying degree of that same issue. You're really not that different from anyone else. It's the way in which you process your pain that that is a characteristic commonly shared by Libras. It's the choice of how to process the pain. And so that's what you need to focus on. How are you choosing to process your pain, your disappointment with life? Because let's face it doesn't matter how much money you have, everybody has problems. Everybody has problems. The money thing is, that's just another distraction. That's another excuse all of us use to justify why we are suffering and struggling deep inside. Oh, it's because I don't have money. If I just had more money, I wouldn't have. No, you would still have those problems and have more money. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. I know plenty of people who are very financially stable and comfortable. They still have problems. All of them still have problems. Everybody has issues within themselves that they struggle observing, that they struggle acknowledging. You don't have to become a completely different person in order to resolve the things you're struggling through. You simply have to shift 1 degree at a time, one little degree at a time. Tick, 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 tick. Every single tick is 1 degree of change. And it doesn't have to be, a tick every few seconds. You can do 1 degree of change once a month, once a year, whatever it is, that's still growth. You're not on someone else's timeline. You are going to achieve Yod, destiny. Your destiny is yours. It's for you to decide how quickly you can achieve whatever it is you feel you're destined to achieve, or how slowly. You have the right and the freedom to do that. But understand, if you do not take accountability for your path, it's not going to be an easy one. It's going to be one that's very, very difficult to process. And the difficulty in processing is not necessarily because of the circumstance that you face. It's because of your avoidance of facing it. And again, this is not about pointing out how you're worse than everyone else. Not at all. This is about helping you to begin processing why the events of your life go the way they do. What is your role in that, and how you can modify your role in your co-created reality to produce less struggle. And that's all this is. Okay. That's all this is. So you have a right to abundance in all its forms, more than just money. This also has to do with support, with love, friendship, acceptance, all of that. Abundance in all its forms. Only thing is this, okay? It's important you remember you do not have to have mastered self-love or love in any of its forms to be able to deserve love, to be able to be loved by other people. You don't have to have mastered any of that. Simply acknowledging that you are beginning a self-love journey is usually enough. Now, if you build walls to protect yourself, once upon a time, that was okay. Once upon a time, it made you feel safe. Now, it blocks out the very abundance that you're trying to bring in. So you have to make a decision. Do those walls have to come down? Are they still protecting you, or are they now your prison? Is it now your cage? That's only something you can decide. Okay? Only you know the answer to that. If it's become your cage, your prison, are you okay with staying in there? Because you have the key. You have the key, the only key to unlock that door. And to be honest, the door's been unlocked. It's been opened. You just don't want to come out. Okay? Are you going to choose to come out? I mean, there's no rush. Eventually, you'll come out. Eventually. But how much suffering will you go through before you choose that? That's what you have to decide. Okay? How much you're willing to suffer alone, the illusion of being alone, before you actually come out. No one has the power to hold you captive in that cell. No one. As a matter of fact, if you don't mind me suggesting, 90% at 5:55. This is beautiful. If you don't mind me suggesting, being someone who is an expert at building walls, um, and who rather enjoyed that prison, the silence of that prison, one of the healthiest ways I was able to cope and free myself of my own creation was not to completely demolish all the walls. Simply take them down halfway, thin them to half their thickness. So if your wall was as tall as you, it's now to your belly. And if something scary comes along, you can crouch down and still have that wall to hide behind. But you also have the freedom to see, to receive. And as you become more confident with your environment and your ability to control the level of exposure, you won't need to have that wall even at your belly height or half the thickness that it was. Eventually, you'll take a look at your spiritual environment and recognize, one of my walls is missing. And it's okay. It's okay. I'm still going to stay in here. I'm still going to stay in here. But hey, that's pretty cool. One of my walls is missing. I didn't even realize until right now. Nothing bad happened to me. I'm still in control of my life. My life is still kind of chaotic, but that's kind of just who I am. And maybe that's a conversation you need to have with yourself. This recognition that, you know what, sometimes the way I cope is not the healthiest way, but that's kind of just who I am. As long as I recognize before that unhealthy coping mechanism gets too far out of hand and creates a bigger mess and I'm willing to deal with, that's okay. That's just how I process life, you know? Me being who I am, I have a very messy mind, like very chaotic, very, very chaotic all the time. It's constantly going. Does that make me any less than anyone else? No, I don't give a shit what my zodiac is. It doesn't make me any less than any other zodiac sign. As a matter of fact, I'm not here as a representative of a zodiac sign. I'm here as an individual, an individuated spark of consciousness, experiencing this life with no apologies, no shame, no guilt. I am a mess. I am chaos, and from chaos comes order. So I'm my own little universe, swirling in on itself, consuming itself so it can rebirth itself, and that's okay. That's okay. I'm going to always be like this. I might have periods of expansion. I might have periods of contraction, but I own my mess. I am my chaotic universe, and I have no shame about it. Maybe if you're able to begin that process of accepting that maybe you are a mess, and it's okay, because that chaos is what order came from. You are cosmos. Cosmos is chaos. You are your own little universe, imploding and exploding. And that's okay. That's okay. Maybe if you just give yourself permission to exist as you are, you'll begin no longer identifying as the wounds that you've carried. And I think that's one of the other struggles that Libra really, really has a hard time with. Many of the Libras that I come across have totally begun identifying as their wound. And if you identify as your wound, anything that holds the promise of healing holds with it the threat of erasing your identity as you know yourself to be. No one can erase you. Detach from that identity as the wound and reclaim the truth of your identity. You are cosmos. You are chaos made into flesh. And it's okay if you're chaotic. It's okay if other people don't know how to handle you. You weren't designed to be handled by everyone. And maybe that's part of the struggle. Trying to diminish yourself, dilute yourself so everyone can handle you. You weren't meant to be handled by everyone. 99% at 559, 99559, 37 and 10. That's 1010. 99559, 1010. Lots of change on a godly level. This recognition that you're on a new journey. that's about to begin, taking the first steps to plan out your path. That's what 1010 stands for. 55 represents change. All those nines represent that God energy, creative energy, cosmos. How beautiful is that? To have the changes you're about to embark upon flanked by divinity. Wow. 99% at 5:59. That's beautiful. That's a beautiful message. 38:11, 11:11. Ooh, that's beautiful. 99% at 6 o'clock. 99 being an elevated form of that God energy. 6 being the lower reflection of that God number. Your ability to receive self-love, receive love and support from others. 00 meaning you are being brought back to your point of origination, to your cosmos. All of these numbers are really speaking to you guys. Not to me, to you guys. These are nothing but confirmations, reiterations from creation itself. I'm just saying, guys, I'm just saying. These are beautiful, beautiful cards. You have a lot to look forward to. You know, you've had a lot of crash and burns, and that's fine. It's teaching you how to navigate, how to drive the car that is your life. And that's okay. That's okay. Anyone wants to tear you down for mistakes, those aren't mistakes. Those were lessons that helped you to learn what not to continue doing. That there's a more efficient way to accomplish the same goals with as little collateral damage as possible. Those weren't mistakes. Those weren't missteps. They were very viscerally felt lessons that were cultivating your intelligence, your spiritual and emotional intelligence. Recognize yourself for what you are, okay? You're not just a mess of a person. You really aren't. And anyone who can classify you as a mess of a person has a very limited understanding of what cosmos is. And, you know, you can't hold it against someone for having a limited level of intelligence. You are cosmos. Cosmos is God. You are a densified version of God. Let that sink in. Embrace yourself as you are, Libra. Embrace yourself. I will be coming back live again in a few minutes. We're gonna do Taurus. I'm coming back for you, Taurus. See you guys in a few minutes. If you haven't already given this video a thumbs up, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Y'all know the mother flicking frequency, flicking. The mother flicking frequency. Come back and get some. Bye, guys.